Hello, human peoples. You're listening to the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. To support us and gain access to great exclusive podcasts like Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and our latest show, Spiel Boys, head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We do game streaming, movie nights with our patrons every Friday night, and you can even commission your own podcast about anything you want. Literally anything, within reason, and we have to do it. You are quite frankly out of excuses not to go visit patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Halbkast mit Tom Reimann und David Bell.
Like an Olympic swim team.
Yeah, that's us.
Yep. I'm always saying we're out here getting things done like an Olympic swim team.
That is what you always say.
Yeah, Dave, you parked that car like an Olympic swim team.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. This is one of my
appreciate
go-tos. You know, it's just a folksy old saying that people say back where I'm from. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We're on an episode of STRIKEcast!
STRIKEcast!
It's the show where we get hyped about stuff and things. I don't know. I'm one of your co-hosts, Tom Ryman.
I'm the other one, David Bell.
And I'm guest Starline Hodge.
Hey, Star.
Hi.
Welcome to yet another
STRIKEcast
episode.
You all are familiar with the format. It's the show you know and love.
Yeah. Star, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm happy to be back.
We're happy to have you back.
Yeah.
You see Barbie yet?
No, I want to, but all the theaters are real full. and I don't want to sit up close to the screen, so I'm waiting for it a little bit.
Yeah, sitting up close is a real nightmare.
I saw it on Wednesday morning, which was a good time to see it. Not that many people.
Nice.
Very good movie. Well, we'll talk about it at some point. I also, what did I want to say? I watched Cobweb. Remember We did that, a movie that deserves more hype.
I do.
Yeah, very good movie. Star, you'd hate it.
Yeah. I was just like,
Cobweb.
just from the title alone, I'm like, that's probably not for me.
Yeah, it's a horror movie. Very, very good.
Sweet.
Very good.
Check it out.
Yeah. What else is new?
It's a movie that deserved more hype.
It did. It really did. It had Homelander in it. Playing a real Homelander type.
Playing a real Homelander type character.
Yeah.
A real sinister bastard.
They play with the fact, like, it's not, I don't want to spoil the movie, but they know who he is.
Yeah.
They know who the actor is, and they're using him very specifically to be that guy. So it was cool.
I wonder how he feels about playing all these, like, horrendous people. And if,
I think,
like, how
it's something.
Have you watched that show Banshee at all?
Is he in that?
Yeah, he's the star. He's like an ex-con posing as a sheriff.
Okay. It's that thing like the Pete Campbell guy where his interviews, he's like, I know what I look like. I know what my face looks like. And I make money based on that. So I assume it's similar with him. Anthony Starr, is that his name?
Anthony.
Yeah.
Anthony Starr. I like that this is the first thing we're talking about.
Yeah, why not? Why wouldn't we be?
Well, hold on. Starr, do you have anything to plug? You have anything to tell the world?
Buy my art. Like, go to starlinearts.com or ataraserena.com if you're Jewish and you want some Jewish things. But starlinearts.com has, like, fantasy art and stickers. So yeah, those are my shops.
Excellent. Anyway, Anthony Starr.
It's related.
I just hope he, like, donates to, like, Humane Society, like, makes a real big show about, like, look, I'm a nice person.
Yeah, I'm a nice guy. You don't have to be scared of me. Anybody going to CatCon?
Wait, when's CatCon?
It's soon. It's soon.
Oh.
How soon? Where?
The weekend of the 5th and 6th in Pasadena.
Oh, man. That's a bit of a drive for me, but...
It's a bit of a drive for you, Tom, but maybe
I'll hop
next
in.
year.
Yeah, I'll start now.
I'm literally penciling that into my, look up tickets.
Listen, Star, if you go, let me know.
Okay.
Because it's not like I'm not going.
CatCon, Aug 5th, 6th.
Yep.
Are you going to cosplay, Dave?
I might,
As Panthro?
Right. I'll be a fucking,
Riff
or
Raff.
Rum Tub Tugger or whatever.
Tugger.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Let's be the
so
Idris
many
Elba
things.
cat.
Yeah. Gonna get kicked out of CatCon.
The only cat that was, completely naked, right?
Is that what that cat's deal was?
No, I think there were other cats that were totes naked, but he was pretty memorably naked, yeah.
I mean, if I recall, the nudity was unclear, right? Some of them literally unzipped their own skin in that.
That's
if I
right.
recall.
Yes, that's correct.
That's right.
Yeah.
That movie is deranged.
It's a nightmare.
You know what's not a nightmare, though, Dave?
The trailers?
Our lovely producers.
Oh, right. We have producers. Oh, okay. I'll do producers.
Okay.
Big thank you to @NerdNumbers.
Thank you.
Thank you to Zero Charisma.
Thank you.
Thank you to Aaron Burser.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to AJ.
Thank you.
Thank you to Andrew Hall. Andrew Howe. Deck the halls with blood. Not sure why that fucked me up.
Oh, we got there. Thank you.
Thank you to Asking Seven.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Bob Grenville.
Thank you.
And thank you to Bootler Boodleson.
Thank you. Let me swoop in here. Thank you to Brian, who Tom knows.
Thank
you to Brockway Loves the Meat Millie.
Thank
you to Burrito Wants You to drink water, hit the gym, and do the ska because they loves y'all.
Pick it up.
Thank you to Chester's Prophet.
Thank you.
Thank you to Christopher Robert Sparks, Esquire.
Thank you.
Thank you to Dan Hackroyd.
Thank you.
Thank you to Davey, the Ghost of East Las Vegas, Francis.
Thank you.
And thank you to David Knife Boot Henson.
Knife Boot.
Knife Boot. All right. So, a teeny tiny bit of explanation, I guess, is in order.
Okay.
All right.
I fought against this.
I know.
okay.
But I stood up for the, continuing to have a show that people want to listen to and are not confused by. So while the strike is going on, we decided that we're going to play around with the format a little bit. So
we sure are.
So this week, instead of looking at, I don't know, new trailers from big studios like Disney or Netflix or Warner Brothers, who are just shitting all over our friends right now, we're going to talk about the top 10 trailers from July 1993.
Woo!
That is, 30 years ago?
30 years ago exactly, Dave.
Me, yeah. Which are, but for the record, also from Disney and Warner Brothers and all the companies.
Yeah, but they already came out.
That's what I'm saying. These movies can't hurt you
Right,
anymore.
we're not. These aren't struck productions or anything. These movies have been out for 3 decades. You've probably seen some of them.
Yes,
I've seen all of them. So.
We talked about this last week. We're not necessarily legally obligated to not cover it.
No,
but this just feels nicer.
Yeah,
and we have other ways of doing. Someone suggested, by the way, Tom, video game trailers. Which maybe that's not a terrible idea. Video games are horrific on their employees, but
they're not. They're not
when
really
is that different?
any better. I don't know. We'll see. But
they're not a struck company. That's the point.
The point is we have a bunch of ideas for different types of strike casts that we can do. This is but one of them. So,
and now we are starting with the movie Hocus Pocus.
So this was number 10 in July 1993.
In July 1993. I don't remember what week. I guess it's for the entire month.
For the month.
Yeah.
I think is what we were going for.
Yeah. What'd you guys think of this trailer? You seen Hocus Pocus? You guys seen Hocus Pocus?
I thought it was so delightful. I was just like, they don't make trailers like this anymore.
They really don't.
It's really, something we're going to have with, I think, all of these trailers is the excessive narration, which is a thing that they just don't really do anymore. It was big in like the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s.
They only do as a throwback now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is...
But they used to have some dude just sit there and give you the Cliff's Notes of the movie while the trailer was playing.
The classic trailer man voice, too.
Yeah, the one that everybody knows, so that in a world that's not a very good impression at all. But that guy, actually, I know that guy's name is Don de La Fontaine, right?
Oh yeah,
Or
And
Don LaFontaine.
I assume what they did is they just spend like a day doing these, right?
Yeah.
Maybe doing like a batch, maybe 5 or 6, or maybe more. I don't know. I don't know how good they were. I feel like you could shit out like 50 of these in a day, but also I feel like maybe that's reductive.
I feel like I maybe saw like an old newscast interview with that guy, and he's just
Probably.
he just had a home office, and he would do it on his phone, like.
Oh my god! And he's probably just so rich.
Yeah.
Well, he has since
absolutely.
passed, Don LaFontaine, but he did voice, like, according to his Wikipedia, something like over 5,000 trailers, and
Jesus.
he's the voice that you knew if you grew up watching these trailers.
Yeah, is he doing the Hocus? So is this him? The Hocus Pocus one?
Actually, we're talking about him. I'm not sure if this one is him, but he does
Right.
like 3 of the other ones that we watched today.
Yeah, oh yeah, because there's this voice, but then there's the "we're having fun"
Right,
voice.
there's like this is this one. The Hocus Pocus trailer is
Yeah.
the fun guy.
Yeah, fun guy.
Yeah, this is like-
it feels like
Disney's guy, like whoever. If it's not him, it's like Disney had someone who was like, this guy sounds close enough.
yeah.
Yeah, it's this,
He'd sit down, he'd inhale some nitrous, and then he'd do his voiceover and just be so excited.
You're gonna have fun with these witches.
Yeah.
The Sanderson sisters are back.
This is the director of Newsies. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Oh.
That all makes sense. I haven't seen Hocus Pocus since I was a child, I believe. I remember it kind of scaring me as a child, because
Yeah.
of witches.
Sure.
As a kid, this was a very scary movie. As an adult,
Yeah.
it's so delightful.
I have to sit down with this movie. I owe it to this movie to revisit it. And Newsies, frankly.
I think it was also written by Mick Garris, wasn't it?
Really?
Am I making that up? I might be making
I don't
that
know.
up.
Nope. I see Mick Garris. He's one of 3.
Ah,
Was Hocus Pocus
Yeah.
PG-13 or PG?
it's PG. It's
PG.
Okay, because like
PG.
the premise is about like a virgin teenager,
A
like,
virgin
that's, like,
sacrifice, yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
and I remember watching it again as an adult. I'm like, wait, this is a kids movie, and they're talking about virginity, like it's no thing. And
Right.
I'm like, I don't know if like it would get the same rating today.
Oh, yeah. It's also about, like, a teenage boy fighting against, like, just, like, witches. Like, it just feels weird. It's like, I don't know. I feel like a teenage boy fighting, like, pagans is just something that happens on Twitter now all the time.
Right. He's just a bully
Yeah.
in a high school.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, they were going
Picking
to
on
try to
these
eat his sister.
witches. That's true.
Yeah, they
That's
were.
true. They were going to
This
do
is
that.
from also, and it's funny that we've accepted this about Hocus Pocus, right? Where it is one of the movies that's like, the Salem witch trials. Nah, they were
No,
right
they
to
were
do that.
totally real.
And we've all just been like, you know what, Hocus Pocus? Okay,
Sure.
you get
a pass.
on that.
You get a pass. I mean, it's not the only one that did it, and then we were like, okay, like Harry Potter
Well,
does
yeah.
it too.
Yeah, of course. It's funny when we make when we choose
The
to
selective
allow that
enforcement of this. Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh man. Oh, it's got Thora Birch in it.
Yeah? She's a little girl, I
Yeah.
believe, right?
Yeah,
I gotta
she's the
watch
she's
this
the kid.
movie.
The zombie is Doug Jones.
Fuck, you're right. It is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, what a good movie.
It's fun. I can't say anything about the sequel because I did not watch that. I don't.
I
me
want
either.
to, but yeah,
I think they're going to make another one.
it's hard to want to watch the sequel when I need to watch Hocus Pocus. Where I'm like, if I sat down to watch Hocus Pocus 2 right now, I just throw on Hocus Pocus 1 because
Exactly. It just didn't need it. It was fine. It had a good ending.
yeah.
It was good.
I'm sure the sequel's a delight because it's also like what does
It's
it matter?
pretty low stakes. Yeah, like who's going to be that upset about a Hocus Pocus sequel?
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting.
This one's got the 90s vibe, you gotta, that's like, part of this is nostalgia, right? Like, I feel like watching the sequel, it's stripped of nostalgia,
Yes.
for me at least. So there's probably it's probably a little less enjoyable just because of that. The 90s of it all is part of the appeal for me.
No.
What were you going to say, Tom?
I was gonna say, even though this trailer was like the number 10 movie in July, I do remember that Hocus Pocus was a failure in the theater. It was on video and
Didn't they?
being played on
Haunted mentioned it. Yeah.
it was being
it played on Disney Channel a lot.
Yeah, it was Disney Channel and video rentals that made it huge.
Yeah. I mean, I was talking to some other people about this with horror, which is like, why would you put this movie out in July? And I think I actually know the answer, which is that it would then they knew
it'll be
because
on
this
home
was a
video
time,
in October.
Exactly. They knew at this point they were calculating home video, and there was a bigger gap between home video. So they'd go summer release, everybody's out of school, and then you'd rent it for Halloween. Is the idea?
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. Should we move on?
Yeah,
to
we
another...
can move on.
Yeah.
to the-
All right. Speaking of horror, this next trailer is for Son-in-Law.
The Pauly Shore comedy Son-in-Law. Now, this trailer is narrated, pretty sure, by the same guy that narrated the Hocus Pocus trailer. It's like
Probably.
he was comedy voice, right?
Yeah.
You can hear in his voice that he's building up to the record scratch moment.
Yeah.
Like he's so
Holy
excited to
shit.
get there, he can barely contain it.
Yeah.
This.
So listen,
My God, yes, yeah, please.
I've seen Son-in-Law. I'm a Pauly Shore fan. Well, fan's a strong word. I watched a lot of Pauly Shore movies when I
enjoyed
was growing
Pauly
up.
Shore.
Yeah, this was for me. But watching this trailer and imagining it in a vacuum, the funniest thing is they don't bother to establish what Pauly Shore is.
No, this is banking entirely on his popularity at the time. So, divorced from 1992, 93, this trailer is madness.
Was this
His name is
pre or
Crawl.
after Biodome?
This is pre.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is really
And-
next to Encino Man, which is not technically a Pauly Shore movie because he's a supporting character. This is like his biggest hit, is Son-in-Law.
Oh, I remember Encino Man.
Encino Man's his best film, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the most complex his characters ever get is in Encino Man. He has ups and downs. He acts, he performs in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, like, just again, like removed from context, them not bothering, and the fact that he doesn't act like a teenager. Like, that's the thing, is the idea is like, oh, he's a teenager from California, and it's like, no, he's not.
No, he's a grown-ass man.
Yeah, he is an adult man.
Yeah, he's like 30. And he also just acts completely unhinged in this trailer.
Yeah.
And just says random shit.
Well, if it's not random, it's stuff like him walking in on the mom and saying, "You're giving me a semi."
Yeah, exactly.
And then
what is this?
he makes her over, and they show him like bring her to the barn dance to dazzle her farmer husband, and he says to his friend, who, if you've seen Son-in-Law, they eventually fall in love at the end because, of course, it's a rom-com. I am blanking on her name. It's Carly Gugino.
Okay.
He says to her, "Check out the wood I gave or I made for him."
Yes. It's fucking wild.
It's so weird.
It reminds me of the Key and Peele hype man sketch. Where he's just like raving lunatic.
Yeah,
where he's
just a
running around.
maniac.
It's that where it's like you look back at this and you're like, he's just on a rampage in this trailer. Like, there's no reason they should accept him. It's not because they're all conservative country people.
Yeah,
it's because he's running around talking about his dick.
The movie. Okay, I like Son-in-Law.
The
movie is much, I mean, obviously this is a minute-long trailer that they're cramming it all into. The movie's like much more nuanced. And it's like, I wrote in the notes, he's Pleasantville-ing them, because that's basically what it is. It's like he moves into the middle of this extremely conservative Midwestern community and basically gets them all to loosen up and have more fun. It's,
Yeah.
This trailer is unhinged, though.
It's so funny.
No, it opened with them saying something about like, this town has not changed for generations, and I was just like, oh no,
Yeah.
that's a problem if it hasn't changed in several generations. Like,
that's a real problem. Like, you're talking like, that's hundreds of years.
Yeah. I was like,
No, they accept him, but a lot of that probably has to do with the fact that he's white. Like, if that's the case.
Yeah.
Wait, Star, have you seen this movie?
I feel like it's a vague memory. Like, I must have seen it back then, but I couldn't give you like any details. But I could also just be blending in like any other Pauly Shore movie I watched.
Right.
What's funny about Pauly Shore, we discovered when we did Encino Man on a movie night, and then I've watched Son-in-Law recently, and it mostly bears true in that movie too, is that Pauly Shore isn't nearly as, at least in those two films, he's not nearly as problematic as you might expect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like,
no, and in Encino Man, he's the hero compared
right.
to Sean Austin's character.
Right, he's like reasonable and nurturing, and and in Son-in-Law he's like sex positive, and he's a little gender fluid, and it's like it's not as dated as you might expect it to be, like an Ace Ventura movie or something, or like
yeah.
He is surprisingly I don't know, like gentle is the word, or like
not threatening. He's not aggressive.
Compassionate.
Compassionate. Yeah, there it is.
It's really weird when you watch
it's
it.
Really strange.
They probably had to do that to balance out him saying like he's getting like a boner from like the mother-in-law kind of thing, you know?
Yes.
Like it's like how do you make someone saying that to you and you don't immediately feel like threatened, you know?
Yeah. That was also during the period of American comedies where somebody could say that, like a man could say that to a woman, and it would be considered like funny or awkward or cute in the movie. The movie would treat it that way.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like not that.
And you're just like, 90s. Okay, I never need to be alone in a room with this person. Like, it's that vibe.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah, for sure.
Let's talk about Free Willy.
Free Willy.
With Lori Petty.
Michael Madsen.
The trailer, the Rotten Tomatoes trailer says, the title is Free Willy, a Michael Madsen movie. It's like, is it though? Is it a Michael Madsen movie?
No, he plays the kid's foster dad.
Yeah, which is surprising that he's not playing like a villain.
It really is. It's Michael Madsen in a kids movie, especially. You're like, man, there's no way. It's like another actor in another movie that's further down this list. It's like, really? He's not the bad guy in this movie. All right.
Yeah.
However, Michael Ironside is in this movie, and he is very much the bad guy, the whale hoarding villain, Michael Ironside.
Of course he is.
Nobody steals whales.
I have a thing about, so I feel like this movie, maybe I'm wrong, and I don't mean to blow them up on the podcast, but I was watching, I think, The Simpsons with Hannah, and there was a Free Willy parody, and Hannah said, like, I know this is a parody of something, but I don't know what. And I was like, you don't know what? It's Free Willy.
Really?
How could you not know? But I'm wondering if this has like because what the thing about Free Willy is, I think it was like a fucking flash in the pan, wasn't it? Like that if you weren't of a specific age, it kind of came and went. It was huge. I remember, Michael Jackson did a song.
That's right.
Yeah.
That image.
I think you had to be at least of an age where you were old enough to like retain the imagery, because that image of, and it's you point this out in the notes that like the trailer basically gives you the entire movie, but like the selling image of the movie, like Willie jumping over the kid, like that's the finale, that's the climax, that is Willie being freed. But it was all the posters, it was the image that they slapped everywhere, and that's what the Simpsons parody is. It's just cashing in on that shot. So, and I think you just had to have been of a certain age in 1993 when it came out.
Yeah, this movie made so much money.
It really did.
It really
did.
10.
It made me not ever want to go to the Miami Seaquarium again, because there's absolutely still a killer whale in a tiny ass tank that's there. It's a bummer. It's a big bummer.
Star, you'll appreciate this. I wanted to go to SeaWorld. My brother and I both. So bad when we were kids, like so desperately. And my mom refused to take us to SeaWorld for that reason.
That's great.
Like, she was like, no, they're mean to the animals. I'm not taking
this
like, she wouldn't take us to the circus either for the same reason.
Yeah, same. I was like super into SeaWorld. I wanted to go, like, because I'd gone to this aquarium too, like the local one, like a lot as a little kid, because they had shows and just
you don't understand that when you're a kid. You just want to see the animals.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh no.
I remember when Blackfish came out. I didn't see it because I was like, I've seen Free Willy. I'm not going to these. Like, I'm never going to SeaWorld or an aquarium again. Which. Yeah, because they're depressing as fuck.
Yeah,
Zoos as well.
They really are, yeah.
I think the one in California, they've gotten, they don't have a killer whale anymore for sure. I don't know if they still do dolphin stuff. I think it's mostly like sea lion stuff because they're not endangered and there's tons of them. But, and it's mostly roller coasters now. They're like, well, please come to our coasters. We're not focusing on animals.
They're pivoting. SeaWorld's actually doing that too a bit, yeah. Because, people don't like torturing animals anymore.
No,
they're not into it as much.
Why are we making animals jump through hoops?
So,
yeah.
I get
such
it
a shitty thing to do.
I know. I get it early on when, like, animals, back in the day where, like, we hadn't fully conquered the earth and, like, getting eaten by a lion or a wolf was still a possibility. Mm-hmm. I see then, like, really feeling ourselves once we've conquered animals to be like, we're going to make them do tricks. But then, maybe a year of that, and then it just feels cruel. And, I don't know why the fuck we do it. This movie, it feels a little gross, although the more I read about it, the more it seemed like the movie was made as a specific appeal, not only to help orcas, but to free the specific orca in the movie.
Whale,
yeah.
And that's kind of all it did, from what I can tell, is free the one orca who died a year after it was freed, which I don't think has to do with it being freed necessarily. It died of pneumonia.
Yeah, they said I read the Wikipedia article on this orca because I was just like, oh no, like did it just die right away? And essentially, like, since they had taken it in when it was like 2 years old, so it was still a baby, it was just still so used to humans that when they released it, it like attempted to kind of go closer to some like wild orcas, but was just never accepted. So it followed wild orcas, but then whenever it saw like human boats, like the people following it to make sure it's fine, it would just gravitate more toward the people. And so it just like, and they helped it. They would help feed it. They would help like try to get it to be like, you're out here. We're not going to let you like die. Like, but it just never was able to reintegrate into like a proper wild pod.
Yeah,
and then
it's like a nerdy kid at a party.
Yeah, and then it got pneumonia and passed. So it's like, and then like the backstory between like the organizations are like, yeah, I know he died, but like at least he had some time in the wild, because otherwise it would have just always experienced a small place, and it's just like, yeah, I guess, but like,
I mean, it's like a nerdy kid
screwed no matter what.
It's like a kid who's raised on like 70s music and then has to go to high school.
He's like a homeschool kid.
Can't connect. Yeah, it's a homeschool kid.
Like I've heard that a lot, where it's like the big danger once animals that have only ever been in captivity. It's like, well, you kind of can't release them because they don't know how to take care of themselves. And like this whale had been in there for like over a decade, so it's like you bone these animals the instant you drop them in a tank.
Right. It feels intuitive now, but the key is to never
capture them, right?
And not like put them in cages.
There's a current effort because there's still like a bunch of orcas that are still imprisoned, and they're trying to make it so like, okay, we can't release them into the wild, but maybe we can make like essentially a better like captive situation. Like they shouldn't be in small tanks.
Like a preserve, yeah.
Yeah, so they want to like find like essentially somewhere off the coast of Mexico or somewhere like in Norway where they could essentially have a sea container where it's like it's on the ocean, it's in the ocean, but it's just big. And so they like, could swim around a little bit better. They're not in like a tiny ass tank, and they could actually
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That's the more current like attempts, but I don't know how successful that's gonna be. Or
we eat them.
Yeah.
Just eat them.
What's funny is somebody
either
did
way.
suggest
Lean
that
into it.
some whaling company suggested that they take Pico and...
I bet the whaling company suggested that.
In that article,
what if we eat the whale?
Some whaling company was like, what? It's better for the whale if you just kill it and divide the meat up and give it to kids in
That's
Africa.
so funny.
Literally, it was the quote was yeah.
That's so funny that they're everybody's pitching in ideas, and the whaling company's like, "Well, we could kill it for you." And they're like, "Yeah, we know you can't. We're good."
When you have a hammer, every problem looks like a nail.
Yeah.
We're like, well, we can kill it.
Holy moly!
We know. We'll call you if we need you to do that.
Yeah. So yeah, Free Willy.
Just one more thing. One more thing. I only found this out a month ago, and this blew my mind. Apparently, most of the footage of the whale in the film is an animatronic whale, which I had always thought that the whole movie was a real whale.
Yeah.
And apparently, it's really only the stuff where you see Willy in the tank, because they were filming it while he was in the real whale was in a holding tank while his theme park was getting fixed or something. But the stuff of him in the ocean and the close-up shots and everything of him reacting, apparently that's all animatronics.
Wow.
Right, and apparently the big famous jump is CGI.
Of course, they didn't really do that.
Yeah. I think it's really fun that since it was animatronic, they probably had people on this movie who had worked on Jaws. I assume when you're how do you make an animatronic giant
we got
fish
you.
creature? It's oh yeah, we got some people to call. And they're okay, so do we need to give it is there a scene where it eats someone? And they're no. Why? And they're oh right. Okay,
but
yeah.
Orcas in the wild though, they eat a hell of a lot of things.
Oh, they're pricks. I mean, I've said it before. We stay out of the ocean. Stay out of the ocean.
Why would
There's
you
monsters.
go in there? It's yeah.
Yeah, and orcas are one of the monsters in the ocean.
Did you guys happen to cover the orcas?
Landscape of demons. Sorry.
Did you guys happen to cover the orcas who are going after people's yachts?
No. But again, I'm not on the orcas' side more than I'm just yeah, don't go out there. I don't know what to tell you. They have every right to ruin your yacht.
Yeah, what's the solution here? I don't I'm not necessarily on the orca's side, but it's what I mean, but also I'm kind of more on the orca's side than I'm not, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We're going into their home.
Listen, you break into someone's house, things might happen.
Apparently, apparently it started with, I forget her name, but it's a really cool, it's her name was White Betty or something, the lead orca.
Oh, sweet.
She got hit by a yacht. And was oh, fuck these things.
And never forgot that shit.
Never forgot it. And essentially has been teaching the rest of her pod to go after yachts. And so it was really just one pod that was doing it. And then in a few months after that, other pods started doing it. So they're all teaching each other how to get these boats.
They're sea elephants. Elephants also have revenge that they carry out. Yep. Yeah, I love it because you feel they're very close to, I don't know, give it a million years, maybe they're running the show, Mm-hmm. I feel they're on their way to something.
As soon as they grow thumbs, it's all over.
Oh, yeah, there was that Onion article about that, literally.
Oh.
That's, oh shit, says scientists, dolphins crush thumbs. Yeah. No, yeah, these, I mean, again, stay out of the ocean.
Yeah, why would we ever go in there? Don't do that.
Yeah. It's not for you.
Yeah.
And land, I guess, if there's elephants.
I do
Get away from elephants.
I do
stay
love
away from the elephants.
Yeah, seriously, leave them alone. Just stop fucking with things. That's not so hard.
Yeah.
Stop fucking with things.
Yeah.
They're not fucking with you.
Yeah.
Orcas aren't coming into your house taking pictures of you.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But
That's
they
true.
will.
They will.
Should we talk about this next one?
Sure.
It's a little confusing. Snow White, but this is the re-release. It's not like that terrifying, what is it, Sigourney Weaver one?
Yes.
This is the Disney re-release of Snow White, which is from the 60s.
It's from the 30s.
I was close.
It's a thing they used to do.
They still
lots
kinda
of movies studios used to do this, where they would just re-release their big hits every few years before home video became a thing.
Now they just live action it. But
the original IP of this is a what was it when they're copyright free at that point?
Public domain.
Let's just take this public domain story and we could steal it.
Yep. I have never seen this movie.
Oh, it's good.
I've gone on the ride. The ride was fun.
You've seen the movie.
Yeah, you've seen the movie.
Yeah. yeah, that's how I kind of feel that way. Where all right, can I guess what the movie is?
Sure.
Uh-huh.
All right. So Snow White, she's I assume a princess on a castle or something.
Mm-hmm.
She gets chased
on the castle. That's an interesting twist, Dave.
Yeah, she gets chased by like boogans or something into the forest and meets 7 dwarves who are hardworking and they sing, and it's not weird. It's not weird.
It's definitely
and they develop
not
like
weird.
a relationship with her, and she hangs out there, and then there's a witch for some reason. Oh, isn't there a mirror?
Yes, there is a mirror.
Yeah, there is a mirror.
A very famous mirror.
So there's a witch talking to a mirror, and she hates that Snow White is more like beautiful than her.
You're killing it
And
so
then-
far, Dave.
And then she go out into the woods to meet Snow White.
She does.
And offers her an apple
She does.
to poison her.
Yes.
Even though it feels like Snow White's not a problem. I mean, I'm making up the plot, but I feel like she's already in the woods. You don't have to fuck with her. She's already in exile.
Pretty
but
much.
whatever. It's kind of the plot of The Witch, but
It's not
so
that.
and then it poisons her. She passes out, and then there's the huntsman who exists and is just like also a woods. He's just a woods person, and then he kisses her because he's weird, and it wakes her up, and then the witch goes away, dies.
You almost nailed it. A random ass prince kisses her.
Got
The
it.
huntsman takes Snow White out in the forest to kill her and cut her heart out at the queen's
I was
orders.
close.
You were close.
I was close.
You were close.
But
But
he lets her go because
he lets her go.
she's a 13-year-old girl and is like, this is fucked up.
Right, yeah,
And
because he
what-
has a flare-up of conscience.
And why are there 7 dwarves? What
They're
part
just-
do they play in all of this?
They just are. They find,
live
or
in
she
the
finds
woods.
them in the woods, yeah, and they basically keep her alive because she gets to live with them.
Okay, sounds fucked.
Yeah, I think the original premise is that she's the king's daughter, and it's his
His
it's
new
essentially
wife.
his new wife, the evil stepmom trope, who's just like,
Right.
this little girl's growing up and she's gonna A, take over the throne, B, she's hotter than me, she's got to go, which is why like the importance of she needs to be dead is because it's like a royalty thing.
Got it. Yeah, I feel like that's why these stories have a lot of royalty, because one, it's like the old timey version of watching Succession, like they just loved that. But 2, people kill each other more when it's about like, well, Succession, when it's about like, yeah, who's going to be in charge next? You got to kill them. You can't just like tell them to fuck off.
Yeah, if you've not seen the movie, it is pretty fucked up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sounds fucked up.
It's
yeah.
Walt Disney was the original like Spielberg in terms of he caught a lot of heat for scaring children when this movie came out.
Yeah.
There's a particular scene where when she's running away and she's going to the forest for the first time. It's like all black. She's running. These eyes are just like popping up, and it's like scary sounds, and the animals rightfully look scary at night in the forest. And yeah, as a kid, like it was just like, this is a lot for me. I don't like this movie.
It was intense.
Yeah. I mean, I remember the ride freaking me out.
Oh yeah. I did the same thing. I was just like, this is bad. This is terrifying.
Yeah, it's no Mr. Toads, but it was quite a nightmare. Yeah.
Also, the near murder scene with Huntsman and Snow White is like shot like a Hitchcock film.
Nice.
Like they just did it like a regular movie. Like all the human characters are rotoscoped in this, so they all look incredibly lifelike. Well, not necessarily lifelike, but like
Their movement
true to
feels-
life.
yeah.
And they look and feel like real people. So it feels like a real, situation that you're watching. It's like weirdly intense for the first Disney movie.
Yeah.
Because you forgot,
They
it's like you
came
tend to
out
forget that
hard.
things went hard as shit in the 30s.
Well, they had to teach kids, about death.
It's
Yeah,
also,
and then,
it's like a brisk 60 minutes too. This movie is
Yeah.
like the hardest hour that Disney has produced. I'm sorry, Star. You were
I
saying
was just
something.
thinking of like the random prince at the end, because he just straight up shows up. He's not a character,
Nope.
I think, at all. Maybe
No.
she sings about him in the beginning, like, I hope a prince will come and like hang out with me, but like, that's, I think, the only
Well,
mention of a prince, and then he
yeah.
just shows up at the end.
He
They
is
seem-
a prince.
Yeah, early Disney, they were always just horny for a prince.
A
just
prince. It
give
doesn't
me
matter.
a prince. It doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He didn't get a name. I don't think.
A lot of them don't.
Yeah,
Incredible.
Cinderella's is charming. I think that's
So is
that's
so is
the name
Sleeping
they
Beauty,
gave him.
right?
I think so. And then I think when Sleeping Beauty came around, they finally because he was like the most active prince, was the Sleeping Beauty prince.
Right, he's the most active. Like he has the biggest kind of role out of any of them in the story.
Yeah, he does something.
Yeah, and she actually meets him beforehand.
Right.
I don't think I've seen Sleeping Beauty either.
Oh,
And that's
Sleeping
essentially-
Beauty fucks. Sleeping Beauty
It's the
goes.
same
Yeah.
fucking. How is that not also Snow White? It's the sleeping and the kiss. Isn't that the same shit?
No, Sleeping Beauty has fairy lore in it. It's great.
But there is still. Is it still like the kiss waking up
Well,
thing?
of course,
Yes.
yeah. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a fairy
true.
tale.
They did two. They did two of those right next to each other.
Yeah, they did. Well,
Not right next to each other.
Cinderella was in
Okay.
between.
I got it.
Yeah.
And a couple
I've seen
like
Cinder- I've seen the
Pinocchio
shit
and
out of Cinderella.
Dumbo, I think, were all in between. There was a few movies that separated them.
I watched the shit out of Cinderella, but yeah, the princes, they're just a dick and a smile for the most
Yeah,
part.
yeah.
That's why I like Cinderella 3: A Twist in Time, because
Yes. Oh my god, you've seen Cinderella 3.
yeah, it gives the prince
We've covered
agency.
it. I think
gives
we covered it on Best Bad Movie, right?
something. I brought it, I think. Yeah, it gives both of them more agency, right?
Yes.
Because it
Yeah.
reassesses their relationship, whereas Cinderella, it's just like, did your foot sit in the shoe? Like, okay, good, it fits in the stupid shoe. Let's have babies and get married. Like, it's fucking weird. But Twist in
weird,
Time actually it gives them agency, realizes the stepsisters a little more. It's a good movie.
Yeah, I think you would like Sleeping Beauty though. He does they do meet each other before all the shit goes down.
Right.
And there's personality there. She's not into him immediately. They have to kind of sing a song and dance, and then they're like, "Oh, actually, you're cool." And then the story really starts, and then it's interesting. It's good, and the art style. It's oh my gosh, what was the name of she was Disney's only female art director. Not director. Mary something, but she did all the pre-design, all the stuff before the movie when they were figuring out the styling. It was all her artwork, and she was one of the few female employees at Disney at the time, and her stuff was really
that's
really
cool.
good. So just for that alone is also
Yeah, it's a real distinct style shift from those earlier movies.
Yeah. And it kind of sets the stage because it feels like they were slowly getting into that Renaissance art look, which is not exactly this, but it feels similar. I guess it's not that
It's a little.
similar.
Yeah.
Mary Blair was her name.
Mary Blair. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll check this out. So this first, and then if there's time, Snow White.
Yeah. Wait. Oh, yes.
terms of watching.
Sleeping Beauty, yeah.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
only an hour 15, so
Yeah.
both of them together, that's just 2 hours.
Yeah. You can take that in.
Yeah.
Let's move
Why
on.
not? All right. You know what? We'll watch Robin Hood.
Robin
Yeah.
Hood. Robin Hood
God, I haven't watched
reuses
that
the
in a
dancing.
minute.
Robin Hood reuses.
I know. That's what reminded me. Yeah. All right. Dennis the Menace.
This is also a completely unhinged trailer.
Yeah, this is they should get rid of the kid, right? They should get rid of him.
Yeah, I'm
Throw
kind
him out.
I'm
Kick him
kind
out
of
of
on the
house.
old man's side. Why is this kid coming into your house and just fucking around?
Yeah,
Yeah,
why
and
is
to
this
be-
kid sitting on my 70-year-old chest and slingshotting aspirin down my throat?
And to be completely honest, I don't think that's my age. I remember watching this as a kid and also thinking that kid sucks
Yeah.
because he does. I think in the notes you mentioned Problem Child. That was another movie where I was like, I
Yeah.
hate these kids.
Yes. Same. I was just
I don't like them.
I was like, these kids. Why are these kids so mean?
Well-
Problem Child. One of the the mom who adopted him. I remember her being horrible.
Yeah, and in Problem Child, it's more cathartic because he's shitty to people who are shitty. And then he
Yes.
sort of
Right.
becomes cured by the end, and that's kind of the idea of the movie. But his pranks are actually funny. In this movie, they're not I remember seeing this movie and being really it's very forgettable.
Yeah.
I remember Christopher Lloyd was like, he slowly like degrades within the movie
Yeah.
because of like stuff that Dennis the Menace does to him. And I remember that being like horrifying, like awful body horror.
Was he Switchblade Sam?
He is Switchblade
Yeah.
Sam, and I want to talk about that. Where this trailer is like, it gets to one point, and it's like all the beloved cartoon characters finally come to life. Mr. Wilson, Mrs. Wilson, Margaret, Jeff, Switchblade Sam. It's like, fucking what? Am I having a stroke?
So where Dennis the Menace is that like, I feel like it's older than even Boomer era, where it's like, this was like grandparents.
Right, like
I think
Mr.
so.
Wilson was like a World War I veteran or something.
Yeah, and I feel like this apparently did well because we have it on this list, but it feels like it was that appeal of like, bring your kids to this thing that they won't know what it is, which we still do today, right?
Right, they're banking on the general premise will entertain the kids once they're there, once you bring them there.
Yeah, it's
So
Smurfs.
I assume Switchblade Sam was like a deep cut. It was like, yeah, he's in the comics, and like, I don't know, the nerds at the time were like, oh my god, they even have Switchblade Sam in there. I assume, but I could be completely wrong because I'm not interested in this, nor will I look it up.
I was gonna say I'll look it
Why
up.
would I? Yeah. Tom, you pointed out something that makes sense now that I know it about why this movie kind of lightly terrified me. Which, as you pointed out, it's directed by Nick Castle,
It is.
who is, for people who don't know, he is Michael Myers.
Yeah, in the original film.
In the original Halloween, he's Michael. He's also wrote
Escape from New York.
Yeah, Escape from
Among
New
others.
York, Escape from L.A.
He also in the close-up shots in the new Halloween trilogy. He is also playing Michael Myers in that.
Wait, I have some news about Switchblade
Yes.
Sam.
Okay, I
no.
can't wait to hear this.
So, unlike the other characters, Switchblade Sam was never referred to by his name, neither when spoken to nor when spoken about. Like, the only reason we know this guy's name is Switchblade Sam is because of the trailer.
Wow. That's weird. Go real quick. Nick Castle also wrote Hook, and also directed Major Payne and Mr. Wrong, and and The Last Starfighter. So that at least puts him into a little more context of why he did this.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have to watch this movie, right?
We probably will. It just when it was just like a film by Nick Castle at the end. I was like, what?
Yeah. It's kind of it's
93 was a hell of a year, yeah.
yeah.
Let's move on.
But yeah, this movie's a fucking nightmare. We'll move on. Rookie of the Year.
Oh man.
I totally forgot about this movie.
Same.
I gotta say, good premise. Like, I know it's basic, but like, oh, what if a kid played baseball because he has a magic arm?
It's a no-brainer.
That's great.
And of course it was a big... I liked this movie. I haven't seen it in, 30 years, but...
It's directed by Daniel Stern, who is also in it.
He is super in it.
Yeah, but there's someone else who's super in this.
I confused this movie with Angels in the Outfield. Is it the same kid?
No, the Angels in the Outfield is Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh!
So it's similar. There's a lot of, like, this Sandlot. I remember there was a lot of, like, brown-haired kid with baseball cap. That's just this, like, generic blur in my head of, like, existing in many different movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially around this time in the early 90s.
Yeah.
This kid grew up to be in The Rules of Attraction,
Yeah.
which is kind of wild to me.
He is, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's in American Pie.
Oh, yeah. But this also has Gary Busey in it, and I feel like there should be a law. There should be a law where you can't have Gary Busey in a kids movie. It's like having smoking in a kids movie. It's irresponsible.
You shouldn't
He's
be
one
there.
of the baseball players. Yeah.
He's the pitcher. He becomes the kid's stepdad at the end.
No, really?
He sure does, Dave.
Really?
Fuck.
Yes.
That's awful. I literally went like, oh, when I saw him. I was just like, Jesus Christ. Because, you gotta, they should have a rating at the beginning. Like,
How many
PGB.
Buseys?
Yeah. that there's a Busey in there.
No, you got to let people know that. It should say on the ticket.
Yeah. But yeah, we were churning these out, right?
Yeah, there was a lot.
Oh,
there was a
yeah.
lot.
We
There was
We
actually
actually made-
Sorry, go ahead.
no. I was just gonna say we actually made baseball movies.
We did a lot of baseball
in the
movies around this
90s.
time.
I was gonna say there was actually a variety of like movies, including sports movies. Like there was just a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, that's something
Yeah.
I wanted to point out as we were going through this is the all of the different kinds of movies that were the top movies of July 93. Which is
that's that's important. Is that we used to make like movies.
Yeah, we used to make a lot of different kinds of
like
movies.
a variety of movies. Like young people listening, we're trying to tell you what could be, like what was once and could be now,
could be
which
again.
is like a box office where the top 10 isn't just sequels to the same 3 properties, where it's actually like there are big blockbusters on this list, and then there are just like regular fucking movies. It was awesome.
Yeah,
it was really
pretty
fun.
sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you could actually just go to the movies and not know what you were going to go see and like just kind of pick a genre. Like I'm in the mood for a romance. I'm in the mood for a comedy. Like,
and you'd get something pretty high quality. Not always.
Not always.
Don't get me wrong.
not always, but at least you would have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk
All
about speaking of genres. The next one is Sleepless in Seattle. This is I haven't seen this movie in a minute. I didn't realize how fucking stacked the cast is.
Oh yeah, everyone's in this movie.
Yeah, everybody. It's got obviously Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan, but it's also got Bill Pullman.
Yeah.
Fucking David Hyde Pierce was there.
Yep.
Now I'm blanking on them.
There's a Rob
Rosie
Reiner in there. There's a Rosie O'Donnell.
Rob Reiner.
Yeah.
Rosie O'Donnell. That's the one I was trying to think of. Yeah, it's fucking nuts. It's also funny. I thought
It
looked
is.
really sweet. I never saw it because I think I was like 10
you
or
should see it,
something
yeah.
when this came out. But yeah, it looks really like cute. It looks like a cute movie.
it's one of those movies, kind of like Jerry Maguire, where it's lasted. We sort of, or like Austin Powers, where it becomes like a meme. And then you go back and you watch it, at least the first Austin Powers, and you go like, "Oh, right, that's why it was popular." Like it's actually like it's good, like to some extent. And this is no different. I really liked the joke where he says to the kid, "Didn't you see Fatal Attraction?"
Yeah, to a child.
The kid. Yeah, and that's just a funny. They at least in the trailer, they don't like call attention to how absurd that question is. That's cute.
Yeah.
And we watched Joe vs. the Volcano recently. Like, you forget Tom Hanks.
I love that movie.
It's a pretty good movie.
Tom Hanks is fucking funny. Like, I still remember watching Road to Perdition and thinking, like, this is new.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Tom Hanks doing, like, a serious role like this is new and weird. And that was, like, in the 2000s. Like, it was, for most of his career, he was, like, mostly funny guy.
Yeah, he has like that, like Hugh Grant, like I'm a likable, charming, funny guy. Like,
Yeah. And they use that almost exclusively. I mean, obviously, he'd do, like, Forrest Gump. He'd do, like, some
He already-
semi-serious things.
He already had his Oscar for Philadelphia at this point.
Right.
yeah.
I think what his Road to Perdition specifically is he had never played a villain.
Never played a
or he
villain.
had never played... No, he's still
Or a
technically not a villain in that.
morally gray character.
Yeah, he never played... Like, seeing him murder people in that, I'm just like,
Yeah.
Tom! Hey!
Thomas!
Yeah. And, like, yeah, it was just such a different role. And now, again, it's like he's played a lot of complicated characters, I guess before that, too. But, yeah, I don't know, romantic comedies, man. He was so good at them.
Yeah, I rewatched this one recently. It's good. It's good. It's sweet.
It looks good.
Yeah. It's
I
yeah.
might need to just put that. How long is it? Is it a short one?
I think it's like an hour 40.
Oh, that's not
Yeah.
bad.
It's
See,
not
that's
super-
it's
another
like a
thing.
movie.
I
Yeah,
like that all these old movies are like under 2 hours. It's real nice.
Right. This would be like, 2.5 hours long now.
Yeah, I'll tell you the longest movie on this list when we get to it.
Sure.
It might not be what you think.
Oh, I know what it is. It's considerably longer. It's yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a delight. Fucking delight from the director of the remake of Bewitched.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nora Ephron.
Yeah, no, yeah.
She did a bunch of stuff. She did she wrote, I mean, obviously You Got Mail. She wrote Michael. Everybody loves Michael.
And
she wrote
When Harry Met Sally. Yeah, When Harry Met Sally.
When Harry Met Sally is, I think, the big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I haven't heard of, like, Michael's the movie with the angel, right?
Yes.
It sure is.
Oh, man, that's been a minute.
And that is not a very good movie.
I want to watch that movie. I think I need to watch it alone because I feel like it's going to be a real bummer. It's so phenomenal.
Watch it by yourself.
Yeah.
Quietly
so
watching Michael.
It's with Bob Hoskins, who's apparently in it. I'm now reading.
Yeah, he's the editor, I believe.
Huh.
Of the magazine that wants the article.
I didn't know there was a magazine.
Yeah, they're writing an article about him. That's the premise of the film.
Isn't there a dance number? Oh my God, is William Hurt in this? What's going on?
Or maybe
Joey
William
Lord
Hurt's the
Adams?
editor. I can't remember now. I haven't seen Michael since the year 1996.
Nobody has.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Literally
like,
nobody.
I remember, it's one of those things where I'm like, did I see that movie as a kid? I feel like I did because clearly it struck a chord in my memory, but I can't tell you anything about it except like his coat, I think.
Yep, he has a big old coat.
John Travolta hasn't seen that movie since '96. He's like in his mansion. It's late. He's like, man, I should like look at some of my old work.
Right.
He's flipping through it. He sees Michael and goes, well, I'm not watching that. Jesus fuck.
Is tonight
like,
the night?
Yeah.
Nah.
No, I'm not watching Michael. Anyway.
All right, let's move on.
Sorry, I was looking at our list. So we've moved on from Michael, and then I realized Michael's not on our list. In the Line of Fire is though, and now this is a fucking movie.
This is
right
the
here.
Clint Eastwood movie where he's a Secret Service agent and John Malkovich is trying to assassinate the president. I remember it being a pretty enjoyable film, but I haven't revisited it in a long time.
I saw it as a kid, and I remember this like vague childhood memory of like I remember a movie where a guy had a plastic gun.
Yep.
And it bugged me for so long, and then it dawned upon me that guy was John Malkovich.
John Malkovich, yeah.
Yeah.
With a plastic gun.
I need to rewatch this.
Yeah.
I think I saw it not too long ago, like in the last 5 years, but
you're really boning up on you're in the line of fire. You're up to date. Yeah.
I love this trailer.
It's amazing.
The trailer's great.
It's completely around the concept of how the number 6 is upside down number 9. And that's the whole, they built the trailer around that fact. And it was like, he's a Secret Service agent who in 63 took a bullet, or didn't take a bullet rather. And then today he's going to have to do it again. And like, it takes like a minute as they slowly flip the 6 with like a clock sound. And then I'm just going to describe the whole trailer. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood picks up the phone. They're like, we need you. And he looks right down the barrel of the camera and says some line. And it was like, wait.
Hold on. He hangs up the phone because the trailer is like you're hearing a voiceover from Malkovich the whole time, how he's taunting Clint Eastwood like you're gonna be standing over the body of another dead president, and then it cuts to Eastwood hanging up the phone, and then he picks up his gun off the desk and pulls the slide back to chamber around and holds it up to his face, and he says something like, "Not on my watch," as he's looking right at us.
So good. I just want to point out the writer of this movie wouldn't work for another 10 years and then came back to write the screenplay for Timeline.
Okay.
Timeline.
Oh,
sure.
Wait.
Yeah.
Is that the movie with the people going back in time with the little radios?
That sounds like it could be.
Do they have little radios?
I don't know. It's the one where they go to they become
with
knights.
Paul Walker, where they go back
Michael
to
Crichton.
night
Yeah.
times.
Oh, I'm thinking of something else. I'm thinking of
Medieval
somebody
times.
somehow they have a radio and they're talking to
Frequency.
their dad in the past. That
Frequency.
Yeah.
one. Okay.
Also good. But yeah, this Wolfgang Peterson, of course, in the Line of Fire. I mean, this has to be a lot of fun, right? I watched it recently. I still don't quite remember it. Is it ghoulish to have? Because I realized also this 1963 was, I think, was basically the equivalent of the 90s now.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yes.
Which bummed me way out. Is it ghoulish? Because it's kind of I guess it's not the equivalent of someone where it's like they couldn't stop 9/11 and now the next terrorism. Like that's what they're writing a movie about a fictional Secret Service agent who couldn't save Kennedy.
Though. Like they could make that
probably
movie.
will happen. Yeah, in another 10 years. Give it another 10 years.
I think they could do it now too. I mean, they made literally movies about 9/11 like 5 years after it happened, so we don't have any shame.
Right, I think they've already made that movie, actually.
Right. Star, are you going to sit down within the line of fire?
No, I'm okay.
I'm going to revisit this one.
Clint Eastwood with Rene Russo.
The trailer was it. That was peak for me. I liked seeing the 9 turn into a 6.
That's the best part, yeah. I might have to rewatch
And then
this.
him, like, threatening to shoot us, I guess.
Yeah.
I wonder if they were to try to remake this now with like any current presidents. Like, I don't think people would be like watching this. I was just like, oh man, like they're like people give a shit about who the president is, and they don't want them to like die at all. You know,
I would say yes and no because 1993. Wait, when's Independence Day was 95?
96.
96. I do recall seeing Independence Day in theaters on July 2nd because they kept rolling back the day. And everybody just bursting into cheers when they exploded the White House. So, yes and no, I would say, right?
Okay, yeah. Okay, because then I was just like, I don't know, like, if somebody... I mean, I wouldn't care about any, like, politicians, like, at this point. I'd be like, yeah. They're politicians.
They have to make one up. And I assume this movie makes one up,
it's a fictional
right?
president, yeah.
Yeah. It'd be amazing if it was fucking... Is
Bill
it Clinton?
Yeah, it's
at this
Clinton
point?
in 93, yeah.
Jesus. Yeah. All right. Next row, we got a film called Jurassic Park. I have the trailer and the teaser. Looks pretty good.
Is this an indie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The teaser is madness. I never saw that.
Oh, I had seen it. It's on. I think it's on the DVD. The one with the James Earl Jones making of documentary. That was like on HBO.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a trailer. It's one where it's like the Godzilla trailers where like they shot it specifically for it.
Right. It's
and,
just
like,
footage that was filmed for a trailer.
I wanted to point out the teaser because the actual trailer, it's so unceremonious where it's treating it like any other movie. And I'm like, it's not every other movie. You fucks, it's Jurassic Park. But they don't know that, you know?
Yeah.
But the teaser gives it some hype because the teaser is just like, talks about the amber and like zooms into a mosquito and it's got like intense trailer voice.
Yeah. And all you hear is a dinosaur roar.
Yeah.
Like, I remember seeing both of these trailers as a kid and thinking the movie would be more like, oh, this is like a fun, like, Discovery Channel science movie. Like,
it's a lot more fun seeming, yeah.
Yeah, and then, I also remember as a kid just not being able to get through this movie because of the T-Rex. Just being like, I can't watch this.
I keep trying to imagine what my little fucking brain thought seeing this trailer because... the CGI alone, they only show you a glimpse of it, which is really smart, right?
Yeah.
And then there's no internet, so you can't like freeze frame it. That must have blew my fucking mind. Like seeing just glimpse of this like photorealistic dinosaurs, and like probably not being even sure of what I saw, you know, like not even registering it in my little stupid like idiot brain at the time. And it's just like, and they show just the right bits, right?
Yeah.
They show like a moment of the T-Rex, a moment of the raptors, and it just looks so fucking good just on this trailer.
Yeah, and just the tiniest bit of danger of just like, we've lost contact with the park, and you're just like, oh, okay. Like, what's going to happen here?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know what else to say.
Well, it's Jurassic Park. It was awesome.
It was good. It was a good movie.
Should we move on?
Yeah.
Does anybody? Okay.
Yeah, that I really like that teaser though. It's just like
really good.
My favorite thing about the teaser though, is the very end is it plays like it fades to black and then shows the Jurassic Park logo, and then it plays like a little Tyrannosaur scream, the one that we recognize from the movie, and then it plays another dinosaur noise that didn't make it into the movie. It's just like a
caw.
It's like, oh, they didn't go with that one.
Like, no, that one's terrible.
Yeah.
Holy shit. God damn. But that's not our final trailer. And that isn't to say that Jurassic Park wasn't on top of the world. It's just that, remember, we're talking about July of 93.
Jurassic Park came out in June.
Yeah. So the number one in July is The Firm.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is also the longest movie on the list.
It is. And it's the Jurassic Park of,
it's the Jurassic Park of legal thrillers.
Yeah.
The Firm was a huge book, yeah. What's that?
They still added a moment of Tom Cruise just running at full speed.
Oh, yeah.
They knew.
Yeah, they knew. I was just like, why? I was like, this is a lawyer movie.
Yeah, it is, but we've watched this fairly recently.
We have, yeah. It's an unhinged lawyer movie.
It's wonderful.
There's so many layers of deception and intrigue and murder. They show Gary Busey comes back and they show you him being executed by the Jigsaw killer.
Yeah,
that's right.
Spoilers.
Yeah, it's just full on Jigsaw with Dean Norris behind him.
Yeah, this is the summer of Busey. He was on top of the world with this and Rookie of the Year.
Yeah,
this. I love that they just give that away in this. I mean, this movie rocks, right?
The Firm, yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, whenever I watch this era, I do I like the Mission Impossibles. They're great. Mm-hmm. But I really do miss when Tom Cruise gave a shit.
Yeah.
Well, that isn't to say he doesn't. I mean, he fucking jumped off a cliff. He gives a shit. But this was when he was like, I still want to be an actor and get recognition. Mm-hmm. And it feels like he conquered that and was like, okay, now I just want to go to space. And it's like, I don't, him as an actor, it's like, I get it. It's kind of like, there's a lot of actors, right, like that, right? Where it's just like, oh yeah, they're good. Like Peter Jackson, you don't have to make another movie again. That feeling.
You're all set.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But still, I need to rewatch Eyes Wide Shut because that to me is I always I can't believe it's Tom Cruise when I'm watching it. Because it's just so fucking weird that he would do that movie.
Did he do that movie because of Nicole or no? Or was that just
I don't know. I mean, I think if Stanley Kubrick
I think it was probably
says
because of the Kubrick
be
of
in
it
a
all.
movie, that's the thing is again, what more is there to do as a director? Or as an actor? He did a Scorsese film. He's done Spielberg. It just makes sense that he's now I'm going to space. Fuck it, But yeah, this reminded me of oh yeah, Tom Cruise used to be in a lot of movies. I guess he was in Top Gun recently. So that's something.
Are all these types of movies, everything we've watched, is this just become what TV is now? That's where it shifted?
I think that's where a lot of these
thrillers?
Kinds of things are going. Yeah, we're just adult dramas.
Yeah.
And thrillers and stuff. They are kind of...
For now.
It does seem like, they are on TV right now.
There is by the way, The Firm was also a 2012, I believe, thriller series. TV
starring,
series.
I think, Josh Lucas.
Yeah, so they did very much make this, I think hopefully after Oppenheimer, maybe studios, after they get their shit together with a bunch of other things, might think, oh, maybe we can make adult dramas again, but maybe not. I don't know.
I hope so. Even though adult dramas isn't my personal favorite genre, I like variety. I like that there's a bunch of different stories being told. That feels good.
Yeah, why do I have the feeling that they're going to learn the wrong lesson and just make a series of biopics about weapon developers or something?
Because they've already announced that they're greenlighting a bunch of movies based on Mattel toys because that's what they think the secret of Barbie's success is.
Yeah, so they did learn the wrong lesson.
They always do.
Absolutely.
They always do.
Yeah, so maybe once the system is completely gutted and replaced by people who understand movies, then we maybe get a new The Firm, I guess. But, for now, TV, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I just, TV, it's all these stories. It's just, in my head, I'm that takes too long. I have not watched Succession. even though I've heard it's good, but it seems
it's good.
It just seems like a lot. I'm like, I'd watch a movie version of that though. Like,
Succession is a little like Sopranos, but I would argue not all the way, which is that they're monsters, and you sort of start getting into them a little bit, but you never really do with Succession. They're just not like the Sopranos. It's like you can kind of forget that he's a mobster, and you just go like, yeah, you better not fuck with Tony Soprano. And it's more abstract, I think, whereas Succession, it's like you really feel like you know these people, you know, that they're, you know exactly who they are. So like you do find yourself making weird alliances in your head, but for the most part, it's like soap opera, and it's fun to watch these people fucking crash and burn. And it's a very good, it's a constant reminder that like, yeah, money doesn't make you happy. It makes you lose your goddamn mind.
Yeah, it just makes you crazy.
Yeah, because the thing I kept saying watching Succession is like, well, you can walk away from this. You already have all this money. Like the characters can't stop is like kind of the idea.
It's all they know.
It's sort of Breaking Bad in that regard, where it's like you just all you have to do is walk away, but you can't. But yeah, it's a good show. But
speaking of walking away, that's it for trailers.
All right, that is
the
it for
top trailers of July 1993.
We did it. I hope you all were fascinated by this.
Solid year. It was a good year.
So it was solid July.
Maybe we'll do what comes after July? August 1993 next. That would be fun.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how long this strike goes. Let's thank some more producers, shall we?
Let's do it.
Thank you to Deborah is awesome, Barbara is great, and Cancer Can Go to Hell.
Thank you.
Thank you to Dracula, the bus-driving vampire. Thank you to Driftless, a.k.a. Goochcock.
Thank you.
Thank you to E.T., the extravagant terresticle. Thank you to Evil Ed 209. Thank you to Exploding
Thank you so
Runes.
much.
Thank you to Funky J Mostly Comes Out at Night.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Heathcliff's Helping Handfuls.
Thank you.
Thank you to ImpossibleWorlds.net. Read issue 2 and keep sci-fi alive. Thank you to James Cameron's Prolapse Locomotive. Thank you.
All right, let me jump in here. Thank you to Krishanovich.
Thank you.
Thank you to Look Mom on a Podcast.
Thank
you to Mabel. Step on me. Step on me. Thank you to Mackenzie. Fuck Shuffling with Willem Dafoe's Confuse You the Large Dick. Chill.
Thank
you to Mercurial Oz.
Thank
you to Mike the Lurker.
Thank
you to Mr. Tell Your Wife how many Patreon subscribers you have before you agree to buy a house.
Thank you.
Thank you to musical guest Rob Ritchie.
Thank you.
Thank you to No One Can Hear You Scream and Space McNulty.
Thank you.
Thank you to Norm from Cheers. Norm.
Thank you.
All right. News stories.
So yeah, Barbie Oppenheimer did very, very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Barbie's cruising a close up to $500 million right now, and Oppenheimer is getting near 300 million.
Yeah, for an R-rated film. We might have talked about this a little on our We Just Watched. Oppenheimer is it really is the funniest fucking marketing gambit. And I know Barbie, apparently, their marketing department, their budget was bigger than the movie. So they both did this, which is like, it helps that they're extremely original. Well, not extremely original, but they're original films and stories, or rather they're not sequels or remakes. And then they just like marketed. Nolan fucking tricked an entire fucking world into seeing a political thriller in IMAX.
He sure did.
Yeah, and that's incredible. Incredible to me.
I will say, like, for the advertising of this movie, I never saw like an Oppenheimer ad. I always just saw it attached to a Barbie thing. Like,
interesting.
What did I like? Yeah, like just at least on my side of the internet and stuff. Like, I never saw anything about Oppenheimer except unless it was like mashed in to a Barbie poster.
I feel like that's the algorithm working its magic, right? Because it was big film nerd stuff, right? Where it's like 70 millimeter IMAX.
Yeah.
See it in IMAX. You got to see it in IMAX.
Okay.
And it's also the bomb scene is practical, meaning no CGI to make an atomic bomb go off. And so, like, there was all this stuff where he's talking about that. They talked about there was nudity. That was like one of the last marketing things that came out. Or like
controversial nudity.
Yeah. they were doing all this stuff, and then the Barbenheimer stuff fueled that even more of see them both, and everybody did it. I saw people with fucking shirts for seeing both.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was just I only saw it as a pair, so that's fascinating to me that how it was marketed to everybody.
Yeah, the thing that I know I said this on the We Just Watched. The thing that really blew me away was that I saw it at the Chinese theater in IMAX 70 millimeter, and there were Barbieheimer people. There was college aged men and women all dressed up really broy about it. Yeah, we're gonna watch Oppenheimer. The nude scene, one of the guys went woo. Shit like that. They were watching a Marvel film.
What?
And then when halfway through the movie, I was like, they must hate this. It's just people talking. And it's just about the Red Scare witch hunt and the threat of nuclear war and stuff.
Yeah.
And then walking out with the same people, I was hearing them being yeah, that was great, man. It's really? And one of them was that fucking freaked me out, man. The nukes and stuff. That I cried. And I was okay, this is awesome. I love this.
People are craving different stories.
Yeah,
They're
human
craving
stories.
substance.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was just and not a fucking, for the most part, the audience was silent.
Yeah.
Everybody just silently watching this.
Yep.
And it was just made me so fucking happy. As did Barbie for some similar but different reasons. I also saw Cobweb, like I said, I've seen 3 very good movies that all came out this weekend, and they all deserve success. And so I'm so happy that they're actually, that they actually made a ton of money.
Yeah, because if they didn't, no one would spend any money on any type of marketing for I don't know, this era of all the Barbie merch was just man, this makes me feel like a kid again, where it's a movie would come out and I would be hyped for the random toy at McDonald's or
right. There would be a galaxy of hype around it that would build up. I really miss that aspect of being a kid.
Yeah.
Specifically about a kid watching movies.
The movie isn't it is kind of like this, where it also, you have the live action, it feels like a 90s movie to me. It feels like the Flintstones,
right?
Movie,
Yeah, the Flintstones.
Yeah, or where it's we don't make these anymore. We used to make them in the 90s, where you could make this batshit Super Mario Brothers experience, where it's it shouldn't be live action, but it is live action. If someone told you they're making a Barbie movie, you would assume it's not live action, and yet it is. And that's I don't know, really fucking cool. And I don't want to say too much more about the movie. But,
right, yeah, because
I nailed it.
We haven't seen it yet.
Also, a big thanks to Ben Shapiro, right? For really boosting. Part of me is did they pay him?
Right, he is losing his mind over this movie.
I feel what happened, this is, maybe it's conspiracy theory, is that a CEO of Mattel knew Dennis Prager and was can you trickle that down, that make them hate it so they'll talk about it. It really does feel just rich people being get those dweebs to talk about it. Cause it's they're not, there's no crossover, right?
No.
Their crowd, they should be talking about Oppenheimer, but they're not. They're talking about Barbie. And it's none of the people watching it are going to watch it, but now he might have gotten them to hate watch it. So that adds, you know what I mean? Ben Shapiro being don't see Barbie. Who's he convincing?
Yeah,
who is on the fence?
Who
also
in his audience that was going to be hyped about going to see Barbie anyway?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Who is going to decide not to see the movie based on his word?
Right. So all he could possibly do is give them more, a bigger audience of people who then go see it to hate it or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it just doesn't it's just weird. It's just weird. Because he could have just been I'm not going to watch a movie about a doll. And that would have... you know what I mean?
Tweeted about this. The reason why is because the other movie is actually too complex. Not to say that Barbie isn't complex, but Oppenheimer, the discussion around Oppenheimer is a serious political, politically minded thing, whereas Barbie isn't that political, I would argue, but they can just, it's an easy win for them, right? It's easy clicks.
It's culture war shit.
Yeah, analyzing Oppenheimer actually takes
Some
serious
thought, like serious thought.
Yeah, where all they have to do, again, Barbie isn't. It's not that Barbie doesn't take serious thought,
right. Yeah, it's
his way of talking about Barbie.
His attack against
all he
it
has to do.
It feels like an eeasier punch because it's just like I could make fun of this girl movie versus
right. Yeah,
Exactly.
all I have to say is that it's leftist crap that's teaching boys to be feminine. Like that's all
Right,
he
which
has to say.
Yeah.
And without spoiling the movie, not that you guys need to hear this, it's not that, obviously.
Obviously.
It talks about, the Ken struggles as well, in a very, meaningful way. So, it's silly. Any other thoughts on this? Can we talk about some SAG strike stuff?
Sure.
The only thing is The Rock just donated a fuck ton of money to the SAG strike fund, and that was after it came out that he was making $50 million for his next role. So I just feel like, I don't know, maybe he was probably going to donate anyway, but I can definitely see him being like, I better make a
send some of this
loud donation.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it can't hurt him. You know what I mean? Like, he's just like, I'm
Yeah.
The Rock. I'm still going to get hired for shit after the strike is over because no one looks like me. And,
Right.
and yeah, why not show, goodwill to, your fellow actors who are struggling? Like, here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's this, I linked this variety thing of where's all the A-list actors on the picket line? And that feels like a division tactic because one, they're there. I've seen pictures of them there.
Yeah, plenty of them. Yeah.
And two, if you're Meryl Streep, what are you going to fucking do?
Right.
I wouldn't go to that picket line.
Also, it's
maybe she's speaking. You can.
It's also record hot summers and Meryl Streep is
Exactly.
74.
Absolutely.
Meryl
And
Streep's in her 70s.
If you're Tom Cruise and shit, it's I get it. You're honestly too famous. Donate your money.
Yeah.
Speak out. Tom Cruise has said that he's helping out in some ways. I don't know how that is, but it makes sense. It's no,
if
they're
you're
not
gonna have
picketing.
paparazzi hounding you while you're walking on the street, it's not safe for anybody for them to be on the picket line because paparazzi people are nuts.
But again, a lot of them are out there. I've seen a lot of them out there, so they are. I don't know. They're
doing the thing.
They're doing the thing. Fucking Ron Perlman. He threatened that man.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah, he really put himself out there. He put himself in some, I assume, a little legal peril. One imagines. He's doing his work. He's doing the job.
You would think.
How long?
Yeah.
The other writer strike that messed up Heroes. How long did that go on?
That was in 2006. That was, a couple of months. I can't quite remember.
I really do like when the scary people are involved. David Simon is part of the writer's strike.
Oh,
and it's
man. Man.
what fucking shit is he going to say?
Yeah,
what terrifying stuff
He's yelled at me
say?
online before.
Yeah,
and Dave.
Yeah, he's a nightmare.
He yelled at Abe, too.
He yelled at Abe. He yelled at you? He never yelled at me.
Yeah, he yelled at me.
I wanted to pick a fight with him just for fun.
I just wonder, I'm curious how long it's going to go. I want the writers and the actors to get every single thing they're asking for.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I really, really do. And I'm just man, I kind of hope they could at least, if they're going to keep going, make it to December, make it to January. I want to see these studios, get
really
fucked.
sweat. Yeah, I know
It's
they're
really
an update we should mention is that they're aggressive. A lot of studios are aggressively hiring for AI content managers.
I saw that
this week. It went around social media, but this week Netflix posted a job listing for a AI content manager that was a starting salary of $900,000.
What?
Yeah. This is going to sound. I don't think it'll sound as hardcore as I'm afraid it will, but I think of this way for a lot of problems, with other places like the government and stuff, where it's it's the old house of it all, where it's you could have been slowly doing upkeep, but you didn't, and now you can't just redo the wiring. You just got to tear it down.
Right.
That's my feeling, where it's like there's a sickness here, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are so rich that they are clung to this, and it's an illness. Like they're not experiencing the same reality anymore.
No.
These executives, where like idea that they think they can replace actors with AI, and people will like,
right,
the majority of people will like it, and them being like, who needs these writers and actors? It's so incredible.
It's like not rational. Like when that line of thinking, and then coupled with the statements that we've heard from like Bob Iger and Zaslav and the other, where it's just like, it's so
detached from reality.
Completely removed from reality. Yeah.
And they don't realize it. And so it's like at a certain point, it's like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like we're going to have to just say, like, all these people might have to just like step to the side and go like, okay, well, we're rebuilding over here. You guys have fun with your AI stuff. That may
be what has to happen. I don't know.
Yeah. New studios.
Yeah. New studios need to come up. Which I know it sucks. Everything costs so much money, but you could also make something really cool and interesting and creative with not a lot of money.
Oh yeah,
many people do.
Yeah, so I hope. I kind of like. Yeah, I want it to all like fall down and rebuild. I want.
Yeah.
I want what 93 is. I want the variety of movies and stories and all of that. And people get paid and to be able to like have a living. Like I want that. Why is that so hard?
I don't know.
Why is it ludicrous? Like it's like that's how the statements from the AMPTP or whatever the acronym is, like they all seem to universally treat the idea that people should earn a living as like ridiculous. Like it's like, well, how? Like, well, obviously we can't pay you all this money because we need it for XYZ. Yeah.
You should be able to be, my full-time job is background actor, and I work a few times a year in the background of a movie, a TV show, or whatever, and to be like comfortable. Like, yeah, you're not living it up, but you're like, no, I could afford rent and I'm good and like I could save up. Like,
we need, it's across the board, right? We need a world where someone says my full-time job is a job.
Was a single job, right? Yeah, this is a problem.
Yeah.
That's why there's so many labor movements happening right now. This is the problem in every industry in this country right now.
You think we're going to get a general strike anytime soon? You think that's going to
I don't know.
That would be nice.
I don't know. That'd be nice.
If everybody was just like, yeah, we're done. We're done. Like, we're just going to stop.
Yeah, this is hogwash. Yeah. It's all just raised chickens.
Yeah.
And farm
Let's
them.
do it.
Or farm orcas for meat and orca milk.
You're onto something.
Yeah.
You're onto something.
That's cheap. That's easy, cheap milk and meat right there.
Yeah.
Everybody an orca in your backyard.
It's so, I can't believe nobody's ever thought, like, orca is one of the cheapest meats you can get.
Exactly.
Bring back whaling.
The whaling industry has a few ideas.
Yeah, we got there. We got to the solution. Holy shit.
All right, Dave.
Should we keep going?
Yeah, shall we jump this stone wall?
All right.
Like the titular Willie?
Thanks some more producers here. Big thank you to Pete Forpagel. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to Numino Ultra Microscopic Silical Volcano Coniosis Anti-Disestablishmentarianism Jones. Thank you. Thank you to pre-order TikTok superstar Jason Pargin's new book, Zoe is Too Drunk for This Dystopia. Pre-orders are super important.
Thank you.
Thank you to Rev MD.
Thanks so much.
Thank you to Ricky Cilantro.
Thank you.
Thank you to Rosemary's Baby from Eraserhead.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Screaming Horse Pyramid.
Thanks.
Thank you to Sorry Cop, world's most laughable centrist.
Thank you.
Thank you to Steven.
Thank you.
Thank you to the conveniently placed self-destruct button on the top of every baby's head.
Thank you.
And thank you to the Midnight Patron, what patrons at midnight.
Thanks. Let me swoop in here. Thank you to the Oatmeal Savage. Thank you to the producer formerly known as the Ghost of Dave Thomas. Thank you to the To Be Terror Bunny demands you enter the ninja with Franco Nero.
Thank you.
Thank you to these 7 Bs.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tiger George Pratt Thompson. Raindrops keep falling on my head.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tip Drizzle.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tux.
Tux.
Thank you to Vincent.
Vincent.
Thank you to Why Did You Take a Flying Fuck at the Moon?
Thank you.
Thank you to your mom.
Thank you.
And thank you to Zzz, because Pie Guy liked being last.
Thank you.
Dave,
Whew.
in these trying times
Yeah.
where
What?
where the studios are battling, are being miserly little jerks, is there an independent film, perhaps, a movie that deserves more hype?
You know, that I can do. I'm not on strike with that. I do have I apologize, Star. This is not a movie I think you want to watch.
It never is. It's always a horror
I
movie.
had one last week. I had one I think you might have liked. But yeah, this is this is Mother Superior. It's coming out in fall 2023. Not sure yet because it's still festival. It's very much like maybe it'll get picked up by one of these ghoulish studios, but right now it's still very much an indie film. I don't even know if I think it's
an Austrian movie.
Austrian film. That would make sense because it's about a Nazi witch cult. So there's that. It takes place in the 70s, and it's about a woman who is, I believe, pretending to be a nurse.
Yes.
At this old woman's house to find out things about her past, because this house and this old woman were involved in like Nazi stuff where they like took women and like kept them somewhere to raise, the Aryan children or whatnot. Some real Nazi shit. This maternity ward thing. I'm not explaining it well. It seems like it was a real thing, but she's there to look for her roots and look for her mother, and then stumbles upon a bunch of witch shit with this like Nazi lady who's into like, I don't know, pagan stuff.
Yeah, it's like
That's
Nordic
what it seems like.
sigils and like crazy shit. I will say, like, the trailer looked very pretty. I was just like, This isn't like a spooky horror. This is like a creepy horror, but it's beautiful.
Gothic horror.
Yeah. I'm getting the feeling there may be some Lovecraft in here.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
No, this looks nice and creepy. This looks like a good. I see in some of the reviews that you posted in the notes, they compared it to a Hammer movie, which is kind of those schlocky horror films of like the 70s. If you've never seen them, kind of driving horror, but not quite, like more artistic than that. So with that comparison and then this trailer, this looks like it could be pretty good. I don't know, man.
Yeah, basically the elevator pitch in one of the reviews is calling it atmospheric feminist midnight movie that tells the story of a deep cover nurse attempting to puzzle out the mysteries of her lineage, only to stumble upon the bewitching practices of the Blood Moon Templar. So that if that doesn't interest you, then it's not going to interest you.
Yeah.
Very good movie. It looks very good. And then I'll just use this point to say, once again, movie that deserved more hype, Cobweb, limited theaters right now. I had to drive 45 fucking minutes in Los Angeles to see it, so you might not find it near you, but look for it on streaming, because I can confirm it's not like, it doesn't reinvent horror. It's just very fucking good, the same way Marianne, the director's other
the
series.
Netflix show, yeah.
Yeah, that's the same director. It's gave me the willies, just like Marianne did. It made me go, ugh, fuck. And it's very similar to a few movies that came out recently, and I won't say which because but like my point being, like, it's weird that it's similar to some other movies without getting the same hype. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, people should be memeing this movie, but they're not. It's not as wild, I guess, than some recent horror movies, but it's really fucking good stuff. Really, really wild, fun movie. And then hopefully so is this, Mother Superior. Check it out around fall.
Well, all right, guys. That's a sode. We've done it.
Woo!
We have done it.
Woo! Star, thank you so much for being on.
Yeah, of course. I'd love to come back. This is great.
Of course. Anytime. You want to plug some stuff? You have more things to tell people?
Just my art shops again, starlinearts.com and atarserena.com. Like, buy some art. It helps me out.
All right. We will. I have your art on my wall. I have multiple.
You do.
Multiples.
You just had a birthday. We did some birthday art for you.
Yeah.
we have some as well.
Birthday art. Yeah. I got Andy Garcia. I got a butt. I got a butt on my wall.
Ah, sweet.
Yeah. We have a Patreon, Tom.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I did. Tell them about it.
Patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We have exclusive podcasts on there. Tom and Jeff watch Batman, Fox Mulder's Maniac, Star Trek The Next Futurama, Spiel Boys. We watch movies every Friday night with our patrons as well. We do all sorts of stuff. We have a whole Discord community. It's great. Check it out.
Yeah.
Don't you also have an Instagram about Gamefully Cats or Gamefully Cats?
I think that's out there, yeah. I've also, like, low-key started a bunch of, like, I've been, like making us, like, TikTok accounts and stuff for when... Like, we have a Blue Sky account now, but it's inactive. I'm waiting for, when people inevitably...
The big exodus, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm on all of those as well. I'm just waiting for it to be like...
Yeah, which one? Which is it going to be?
Which will it be? Who will win?
Maybe it'll be X, the one that now looks like a fucking porn site on my browser.
Sure does.
That site keeps crashing on me. It's just legit falling apart. It's barely functional.
Much like their outdoor sign.
I love that he didn't get a permit to do that, and they just said nope.
Of course he didn't.
He also doesn't own the trademark. Doesn't Meta own the trademark?
It's something like that.
Yeah, and then they can't get the trademark in Japan either. It's just. It's what happens when
it's also blocked in Indonesia as a porn site. It's like Indonesia cannot access it.
Perfect.
Oh man, all billionaire CEOs should make impulsive decisions without thinking about them.
It is fun.
What do you think is the end game? I know we're like already on the side of it, but like, what's the end game for all of this? What's going to happen to that man?
He wants trolls on the internet to think he's cool.
I think, yes. I think right now he's looking for the easiest way out to make it to feel good, right? Where it's like if I think it's either that or it was an actual effort to destroy Twitter, I guess. But I think it's like, how can he get out of this and save face? I think that's where
I don't think he's that complicated enough for that first thing. Like, I don't think it was a 4D chess maneuver to destroy Twitter. I think he just wanted people to think he was cool, and he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing because he's an idiot. So. Yeah,
it's also possible, like we were talking about the bubble, that there isn't still no end game. He thinks he's doing great.
He might, maybe.
It's possible that he might think he's doing great.
I think of like historical rich people who've gone crazy, and in the end they just like fall apart. Like I want to know what that.
Oh, he's Howard using it, yeah.
Yeah. Or like the guy who owned William Hearst.
Yeah.
Like it feels like that. Like you have too much money and no one tells you no. And it's not going to end well, right?
It's a real shame.
It'll end with like his skeleton orbiting the planet in a spaceship that's shaped like Harambe. Like it's just going to be the fucking nightmare. Right. Yeah.
He's going to be in a mech suit covered with like stupid memes.
Yeah, exactly.
Oof. He couldn't even build something cool.
No. Not cool guy.
You could have had an airplane. You could have had a cool house. You got nothing.
He could have just existed in silence in the darkness of just being a anonymous rich person.
Yeah.
But no. Again, they always push it.
Stop. Yeah, they can't stop.
They can't stop.
We also have a store, speaking of people who can't stop. Head over to GameplayUnemployed.com where you can find a link to our Teespring store. We have all kinds of cool original artwork and designs you can get on t-shirts, mugs, stickers, posters, all kinds of things. So check that out.
Do it.
Yeah.
Buy physical media, everybody.
Yes.
Buy physical media.
Yes. Especially if they're pulling the Venture Brothers off of HBO Max.
I already bought the box set of that.
They just bought it. All three of them. All three of the shows that they announced movies for HBO Max, Aqua Teen, Metalocalypse, and Venture Brothers, all of them put out full series box sets this year. So maybe that means something. I'm going to buy all of them.
Buy them all.
I need to do that for Steven Universe. I heard they were pulling that off too. And I'm like,
really?
Fuck.
Yeah, I was like, I need that. that's a show I enjoy.
I'm literally
A lot of
buying it right
people
now.
enjoy. Wow, man, good God, things are looking pretty grim, everyone.
Physical media.
All right, say goodbye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Our music is produced by Chris Corlew. You can follow him on Twitter at @thecorlew, Corlew, and find more music at shipwreckedsailor.bandcamp.com. Our artwork is produced by Justin Brown. You can follow him on Twitter at @JustinTBrown, and find more of his artwork at artnessbyjustinbrown.com and justinbrown.info.